Hi everyone, we're here in the awesome... Take three. Hi everyone, we're here in the awesome workshop, and behind us you can see we have Tabby working on this TTRS. Dazzler engine, beautiful car, lots of carbon, very good customer of ours, Mike Slater. Been a customer for many, many years, loves his car, pride and joy, joy and pride, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, this car's quite special actually. Has a Verkline kit on it. It's already running APR stage 2. So in this, we've been asked many times about how much does it cost to basically get a TTRS or an RS3 up to around the 600 horsepower mark, you know, and then obviously the question is, you know, can you get 700 horsepower? Yes, you can on E85, well, 734 actually. But that's probably for later on when we do this car. But at the moment, the plan for this is to get this to 600 horsepower. So we'll go through a little bit of a costing on this, how much it costs from stage 2 level to jump up to the stage 3. So this particular car is having the TTE 700, Sharp Motorsport injectors. Oh, is it having a throttle body? Has it got one on it?
This isn't having one this time around.
Right, so it's not having the optional throttle body, but I'm sure at some point Mike Slater will upgrade to that, but we'll do some testing on that as well. So let's just have a quick look at what we got. Tabby, have you got the turbo here, or is it?
No.
Well, he's not organised. He hasn't got the turbo out yet, but we'll bring that to you later on in the video.
Yeah.
So, top of my head, TT 700 upgrade is about £2,600. That's the exchange unit. Bear in mind that you may get a surcharge on top of that until we check and validate that the old turbo is good enough to be sent back and reconditioned. So it's injectors upgrade from stage 2. This already has intercooler, has all the parts on it, has the intake. We don't need to do a fueling upgrade on this car. So the only reason that we would need to do the fueling upgrade on this is if this car was then going to run the E85 fuel, and the fuel system isn't good enough to cope with that. So we would upgrade the low pressure fuel pump.
Yeah, initially we'd upgrade the low pressure fuel pump. There's enough from experiencing, you know, the high pressure fuel pump for what we need. You know, we're running cars. I mean, our own TTRS was running 730 horsepower on ethanol. So you know, there's scope for that. That's something Mike's talking about. Put in the car at a later date is the low pressure fuel pump, and then he's got the ability to you know, run the E85.
And one of the most important things for any customer in the E85, we won't actually provide a file for a customer that wants to run E85 unless they have a fuel content sensor in the car plugged in.
I mean, we advise the ethanol content sensor in line, so you know, you can get a reading inside the car to see how much you know, ethanol content there is in the fuel. What we do advise is, I think it's anything over about 65%, because there are allowances in the tune for sort of like the winter blends of E85. So you know, as long as you've got that in the car, what you don't want to do is run it with the E85 file on when there's still, you know, 99 octane in the car. You just end up, you know, torching a spark plug and you know, causing damage to your turbo, if not worse, you know, damage to the engine.
So rough price. In order to obviously the labour, I would say you're probably 8.5 hours from stage 2 level up to the stage 3. You know, obviously we spend a little bit more time because obviously this car will go onto the dyno. We'll obviously make sure that it's running right, there's no boost leaks, etc., etc. Data log.
We'll do, you know, that maybe other places won't do, is the new injectors that we get, even though they are brand new, we'll still run them through our RS3 tester just to make sure that they're balanced and, you know, exactly what, you know, the flow that we're looking for. Because I have seen some come in, not necessarily the ones from Sharp Motorsport, but I've seen some Bosch injectors come in that are sort of in a batch which are off balanced and just not actually flowing anywhere near 980cc, which is what they claim. So.
Yeah. So if your car is at stage 2 level, so obviously has the parts that we've talked about, in order for and I will talk about an APR customer. So this car is obviously at APR stage 2 level. In order for him to jump from the 500 to 520 horsepower at stage 2 to up to the 600 horsepower, roughly that price is going to be about £5,500 or £5,000 without the throttle inlet. So I think, as I said, the labour is about 8.5 hours. The turbo unit is 2,600. The injectors, I think, are about £360.
Is that plus or included?
No, that's included.
Yeah, so which is really good price considering, you know, that it comes with the adapter harnesses and everything. So.
Yep. So they're available. TT700 is available on our website. The injector is available on our website. Obviously, you can buy them obviously from Sharp Motorsport as well. We work quite well with them. Yeah, and there's obviously, Tabby, there's some other bits and pieces. Obviously, there's the oils, the gaskets, seals.
Yeah, so...
would you do a plug upgrade? Obviously, whenever we do a TT7 upgrade, we always do the oil anyway.
Yeah, so basically, over ancillaries, we run the gaskets for the... You just fucked me right up here. What were we talking about before we went off?
Listen, I take 30 seconds out and...
You fucked the whole thing.
You screwed up. What can I say?
Yeah, so... Over ancillaries that we use, obviously, new gaskets or anything, you know, that's changed, turbo,
oil feed pipe,
clamp, oil feed pipe every time, especially with, you know, a turbo, even if it feels sort of clear. If we were doing the elbow, we would replace the upper inlet manifold gasket and the 2 throttle body gaskets. We're not doing it on this one. Obviously, we put fresh coolant in because obviously a lot of that's drained out when we change the turbo. We always change the oil when we do these. We like to run the nano drive in this particular engine. Regularly, oil change a lot more regular, especially running stage 3. We advise between 3,000 and 5,000 miles. Spark plugs, we advise the MGK racing plugs. I like the 8.9s in the stage 3. Obviously available on our website as well.
Are they available now?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, there is like a worldwide shortage on these plugs at the minute, but you know, we still recommend those plugs. You know, at worst case, I'd say the 7.9s, a little bit more readily available, but those plugs I recommend changing every 8,000 to 12,000 miles. I mean, they are an expensive plug, but you know,
you need to look
really
after the car.
Maintain the car, and that's probably the most important thing.
Especially at this level.
You can't, you know, run a stage 3 car and then not expect to have to regularly maintain it. I mean, we get people that, you know, tune the car. Even stage 1, we like to see the oil changes a lot more regular. I mean, I've known people that come in basically for a stage 1 tune, and then you're talking to him as they're leaving, and you know, you're like, yeah, regular oil changes. And he's like, yeah, I'm on the long life servicing. Like, what? So you're going to change like 18,000 miles in 2 years before you change your oil in a tuned car? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, we've also known customers, you know, that we've had to educate, and it's not their fault. It's just, you know, when a dealership tells you that you can long life and you can do 20,000 miles, but all of a sudden you want to tune your car and it's at stage 2, and you know, I mean, obviously 400 or 500 horsepower, whichever car you've got. It's not really ideal to be doing 18,000, 20,000 miles on your oil. So we don't recommend that as a company at all.
600 horsepower on 99 octane fuel, you know, 720 horsepower on ethanol. You know, the car is designed to run 400 horsepower. You know, that's what the factory intended to run. So, you know, on ethanol you're running like 325 horsepower more than, you know, what the factory intended. You're running 200 horsepower more, you know, on 99 than the factory intended. So those regular maintenance needs to be, you know, shortened dramatically, in my opinion. You know, if you're going to run a car like this, that kind of power, then you've got to look to maintain it properly.
Yep. Right, so that's a little bit. Let's get stuck into actually getting the job done. We're going to get the turbo out. We're going to show you a little bit about that. And then, yeah.
Okay, so basically we've got obviously the stock turbo which come off the car. This is the TTE 700 turbo here. You can see obviously it's hybrid turbo, which basically means they've utilised the stock housings and put larger compressor and turbine wheels in. As you can see inside, obviously the turbine wheels are much larger, and if we flip it the other side for you, you can see the compressor wheels are obviously much larger as well, which is obviously making the turbo more of a capable unit now, which is why we're able to obviously push it a little bit further. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. We can get it installed back onto the car and get the injectors in. What we'll do is we'll probably run through the testing sequence of the injectors as well, so you can see that. I think we've done that before in one of our earlier videos, but it's always cool to see that. And then we'll get them installed and then we'll get it on the dyno. Yeah, so obviously as you can see we threw the injectors in to test them. Just for a bit of a laugh, I've chucked a stock one in up against obviously the upgraded one, so you can see the injectors all pretty well balanced, and obviously you can see the factory one just doesn't deliver the same amount of fuel, you know, in the same amount of time, because each one of those has been ran, you know, for 6 seconds. You know, you can just see the difference straight away. Yeah, so passed all the tests. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull them out, we're going to put them in the car, and then we're going to start tuning.
Right, so that's the TTE 700 finished. I've just been told that the customer is here. So we're going to open the door, we're going to bring the customer in. We're not going to talk about the figures with the customer at this stage. What we're going to do is get the customer to literally go and road test the car and put a GoPro in there and see if we can get the customer's reaction, see what he thinks. Obviously this car was, we already know, was already stage 2, but obviously we've got the TTE 700 on there, and she's made a little bit more power. And here he is, Mr. Mike Slater. Welcome to the channel.
Hey Mark.
Bump, bump. All right. So, this is what we're going to do. I know you come to give the car a road test.
Yeah.
We're not going to come out with you. Obviously, COVID, etc., etc. So, we're going to put a GoPro in the car. We're not going to talk about figures or anything like that. There's some bits that I want to go through with you when you come back. But let's get you in the car and Let's see if it literally puts a smile on your face. I know it's slightly damp out there, but it doesn't matter with yours. It's going to be all good. Right, let's do that.
Okay folks, we're taking the TTRS out now, just driving out of Awesome. Big news for today is we've gone from stage 2 to stage 3, and as you can already see, I'm grinning from ear to ear, anticipating some serious fun on this journey out. Wow, just listen to that. Yeah, so it's stage 3 APR tune. We've gone down the road of a TTE 700 turbo. It's amazing. We're not even at the first roundabout, just outside of Awesome, and already we've got big smiles. Already feel a massive difference in the torque. The way it's pulling lower down in the rev range is pretty cool. To the sound of the car, feel the way it breathes, it literally feels like it's got an extra lung. I think we're going to circle it round here and head it back to Awesome to do the final sort of handover. Yeah, I think one of the great things about the APR tune and you know, going down a TTE 700 route is definitely the stability of it and how proven it is. You know, there's lots of other options out there that we could have considered, but I think on an unbuilt motor, I just can't fault this TTE 700. This is the first time I've driven any MQB platform car with the TTE 700 in. I know I've got a load of buddies that have this turbo fitted to the car and they all rave and love it, so I'm definitely converted and liking what I've got so far. Okay, let's see what she does off the line. Carbon ceramics. The difference between 2 and 3 is night and day. It's completely not comparable. Stage 2 it's been so much fun, but this really is. This setup's really as this car should be. I couldn't be happier.
Right guys, that's it. That's a really happy customer, a really happy me. Excited for the customer to go and enjoy that car. So we talked a little bit about how much it costs, obviously, to go from stage 2 to stage 3, back earlier in the video. This car produced, there's a couple of little things we'd like to change on this car to test out to try and get a bit more power. One is obviously the throttle inlet, and we want to try and do something different with the induction kit. But he's going to come back in and try that, hopefully in a few weeks' time. This car produced 590 horsepower on 99 and about 515, 520 foot-pounds of torque. So, as you can, I haven't watched the video back yet, but you'll see in the video the customer's reactions. I'm hoping he was really happy with it. Came out the car sounding happy, so fantastic. Thanks for watching the video. Obviously, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you soon.